Good and happy Halloween weekend. Dawn and I are here. Dawn is going to paint this Dread Necromancer from Bestiarum Miniatures.
Not easy to say, so that's why he's doing.
Hi, Wicked Angel.
Hi, Wicked.
So that's what we got going on today. That should be pretty fun. We're excited because Monday is Halloween. It's the happiest time of the year. Oh, and hello, Sam Wise. We said hi earlier, but hello.
Officially.
Officially, yeah. So Dawn's going to be painting this. This is a bust. Dawn, you haven't painted a bust for a while.
No, not on screen. But I definitely wanted to have something. Tuesday's discount candy day. No, we will not be streaming on Halloween night. That is pass out candy, drink wassail, and watch scary movies. We'll actually have the window open. Oop, that's not even on yet. We'll actually have the window open in the living room, and we'll have some random Halloween movie playing while we're passing out candy. And
Hocus Pocus or something.
Yeah, we usually have something playing that's Halloween-y. I think last year we did Nightmare Before Christmas.
But basically, when the Evil Dead or something like that comes on, we have to close the windows. Then
when the candy is done, then the window goes closed, and we watch something better.
Yeah.
Not that those are bad movies. It's just we want to also be scared. So
we are going to be doing more content, though. Potentially another stream. Certainly more YouTube stuff, though. We're kind of working on it and hashing it out.
Yeah, one of the things that we've talked about was, everyone was really, what's the word? Excited by and happy to have the kind of back to basics. Hi, Sawdust. Back to basics sort of paint job that we did the other day. So we've been talking about a couple of different options. One option would be like once a month having an evening stream that we have the tutorial sort of stream going, where just basically I answer direct questions on how would I do this and demonstrate a few different things. Also doing some shorts on YouTube where we're not live, so I wouldn't be able to actually answer questions. I mean, comments and stuff like that I can always reply to, but just a little short of this is how I do this little thing in 10-15 minute little videos on that sort of stuff. So we're lots and lots of stuff, and we've magically managed to figure out how to add about 50 hours a week to our actual week. So we've managed to figure out time travel. So
not really. So it says, can't use audio because we just landed in Atlanta. I'm still taxiing to the gate. Well, you've got to drive in Atlanta, so I'm whatever you need, man. I hate driving in Atlanta.
So a couple of other little like housekeeping things, right? Stop attacking me.
Is crossing the line between time zones time travel? Asked Samwise. Yes, when I was 10, I felt very much that was true. Sada says, I'm going to assume that Blown Kiss was for me.
Yes. No, it's for my big brother. Not you, ever.
Anyway, you said housekeeping stuff.
Yes, but now I'm busy.
Uh-oh.
Nope, that's not gonna work.
This is intriguing. I don't know what the hell's happening. Yes, I do. This is not housekeeping. But what's the housekeeping stuff?
Okay, so sorry. Okay, I think everybody knows that's my actual big brother, so So everybody knows that we did a little fun promotion for October where we printed out the little pumpkin mimics and we shipped them out. And I had a couple of painted ones. I had a couple of painted ones that I did that I also just randomly put into packages. And so random customers got painted and then other customers got unpainted. It was really popular. Everyone was super, super happy. So we're going to do it again for November. And because normally we put like a little free base, you know what I mean? But these seem to be
decorative base, not a plain
decorative
base.
Yes, decorative base.
Fun ones.
Just so you can, kick your miniature painting up a little bit if you want to. But what was really fun was those. So I found another option for us for November. We have a little turkey dragon, or we have a little raptor dressed in a turkey costume, and it's like Thanksgiving whelp is what it's called on our Etsy store. And I printed it out about half size. That is not going to be visible. Can you switch it over?
Yeah, let me and the button. There we go.
So,
I wonder how this guy is. See, we didn't get to actually work on this.
So this,
we're working it now.
This little dude, this is about half size of what he is printed from our Etsy store. But basically, every order in November, and these guys are printing today. So every order in November will get a little tiny raptor turkey. And yes, I do plan on printing or painting probably 2 or 3, and that's going to be it because feathers. But he's so flippin' cute. So
I hit cancel instead of apply. We'll do that again.
The other housekeeping is Ty finished my paint holders.
Finally.
So I have my beautiful... God, they are so heavy. I love the fact that they're heavy. That's why I wanted them he printed them completely solid for me. But they're pretty and they're rainbows. So I have my new paint holders. Or painted items holder, whatever you want to call it. My handle. It's my
Samwise
handle.
is taking us into the kitchen to work on some apple pies. They still have 5 pounds. And
holy hell.
Oh baby.
I'm one of those weird people who don't like apple pies.
Love apple.
Love fresh apples, don't like cooked apples. The other little tiny bit of housekeeping is that we alter the stream points. Completely blanked on that.
Oh, because they're paid for next weekend already from last weekend.
Yes. That is actually thank God you got at least 45 minutes to make that. Alter the stream points were used, and because it's Halloween, I wanted to paint something scary, and where he is scary, he's not scary enough. So, but he is printed, so I wanted to show him off. This is what I'll be painting next weekend. Fenrir.
So if you spend points this weekend, just so everybody understands, because I know it's been a while since this was sort of a regular thing, but when points have already been spent to choose like this, right? You can still spend points, but then you influence how things are done.
Yes.
You can't say it's all in pink, but you could say it's a pink theme or something, right?
Yes, and Famine is a really good example of that, where Cora spent I think it was I almost said name. Golden. I almost said his real name.
Oh, don't do that.
Golden spent points to have me paint this one, but Cora spent points to tell me to use a green theme. So everything that is Famine, meaning the mount and the actual character, was green, and then I used a pink on the pigs, but that's it. So that's kind of a really good example of teaming up on that sort of stuff.
That's Fenrir, that model, right?
This is Fenrir, yes. Okay. He's headless right now.
The one with the sword too is yeah.
Yes, basically he's got interchangeable heads. So normally what I do is I glue these on And that's that, right? Well, what I would like to attempt to do is magnetize, put a magnet, and make it to where the heads are still interchangeable.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm going
That's
to
fun.
I know I'm going to attempt it. I've seen a bunch of people do it. So
That sounds like a trip to Michael's or something, huh?
well, no, we've got magnets here. And Michael's wouldn't have the right magnets. Yes, I want little bitty ones, but I don't know yet. No.
Norse, right?
Norse. So anyway, this is the guy I'm going to be working on today. So I got him all base coated in black, except for his additional arm. And the reason is for that is it was sitting off in the corner. So this guy goes right there. And what I have not decided yet is this is his staff. His staff actually has an additional piece because this is a character model. Well, obvious. I say obviously, most of the time they do that. But this one, I have not decided if I want to put the bottom of the staff on or not. Because once I attach this, it's quite a ways down there. And considering that he sits pretty low on his base, I feel like the bottom portion of the staff might just be overkill. That actually didn't get me.
It got me.
That's funny. Those normally get me so bad.
I'll turn it up.
So, the really cool thing that I like, and I don't know that you'll see the details of it right now, but there's like a little plaque right here. And if you really look at it, you'll realize that the emblem on the plaque is actually Bestiarium's logo.
Oh, I didn't realize
which is
that.
a really freaking cool logo.
Excuse me.
Like I said, I haven't really decided, one, if I'm going to add this arm. I can't see not adding the arm on it. But that one's going to sit off to the side, and I'm going to basically ignore it today because I'm out of blue tack. And need to get this one base coated in black. The reason I like to do that, especially with anything that's dark themed, sorry guys, is I like to be able to give myself a little bit of leeway. Like, I missed a little tiny spot in here. Well, it's black, it's fine. So I kind of like to give myself a starting point of the black, and then I don't have to worry about I missed this tiny little spot. It's just a dark little shadow sort of thing. If this stays, let go. That stays on there, then I'll go ahead and start painting this one today too. But I'm not going to start there. I am going to start on his base. Because I believe, you see how badly his body is tilting. I believe I've got the body secure enough that I can paint it. See, it's still kind of falling over. So it may be necessary to... You're an asshole.
I was checking the volume.
Make sure that you weren't.
You could hear it.
It may be necessary to glue this onto his base so that I can paint him. So I'm going to start on the base today. I don't know that it's really gonna take me a whole lot of time. So that's gonna be rock. That looks like foliage. And then this I want to be stone, but I wanna do pretty good details in. So we're gonna start off by beating the ever-living crap out of it with some ash gray. Dry brushing, woohoo! The number one reason I don't tend to use a wet palette, because I tend to dry brush the ever-living crap out of most of my.
A little bit. Focus looks okay to you, Dawn?
Yes.
Good deal.
So I needs to get some music going.
Okay.
And what is everyone else's plan for Halloween?
Yeah, what are you guys doing on the happiest day of the year?
I'm gonna be stoned. Yeah, I missed it.
Um, you know what else I'm excited about? Just sort of a progress update for everybody that's involved with the plane.
Yes.
We did our we changed our subscription, the way we do content. That was really quick. What was that? Dark what?
Dark stone.
Dark
So
stone.
basically, I've got ash gray and dark stone on my palette, and I'm dry brushing is all I'm doing. I'm not washing my brush in between. I just want multiple tones going.
Sam says, tomorrow I'm doing the last flea market of the year, then Halloween movie marathon with my oldest friend. That's excellent. That sounds like a blast. Sorry, yeah, I don't mean to take over. I'm going to try to be brief on this, but we changed our subscriptions, how we give content out, so we sort of split it up a little bit more than it was before. Right now we're working on stories, so we're going to provide campfire stories, short stories, that kind of thing. And then when we get more in the game content, then we'll go back to sharing more of like dossiers and stuff. Though every once in a while we'll slip in a month, I'm sure, of like dossiers, so the people that are subscribers can figure out what is a tripod, because we haven't really described it quite yet. Anyway, the exciting thing is this was the first month that we switched over to this new content delivery, this new content types. And so we turned in 3 new sections on the novella for the Terra Olds novella. Tripod, yeah, they're mean, but we'll describe them eventually. They're they're in the same class of yikes as Raindar or a unicorn. Only, unlike unicorns and Raindars, they are not herbivores. So terrifying. And they're also not as large as like a unicorn or a Raindar. They're still really big. It stands on 3 legs. That much is definitely give that up. What's up?
You might want to zoom out just a little bit because I am kind of.
Yep.
I do have larger items today, and I am kind of bouncing around a little.
Yeah, I figured I might have to go in it. That's one of the smaller items you're on now, isn't it?
His head is the smallest item, but even then, it's not small.
How's that? Should I go out more? Or?
No, I think that looks pretty good.
So kill it with fire. That and anything with 3 legs and 8 legs. Got to kill it with fire. Or viruses, I guess, because we were talking about the tripods on War of the Worlds last time we talked about tripods.
Yeah.
I'm going to see Hocus Pocus 2 with my friends. That is a lot of fun. We haven't seen that yet.
No.
So anyway, yeah, we released 3 new sections. So that's 5 of the 13 sections that are planned for the Terra Olds novella. So that's exciting. I don't even know what the big project is next, but I'm sure it's going to be fun. Probably just be pick the next short story for short story book.
That makes the most sense. Could you be sticky, please?
Yeah, I guess we also have to decide if the campfire storybook or the short story book's going to be the first thing we release. And when we release that, I think I mentioned last week in the novella, Terra Olds will be available in digital format.
Excuse me.
For free to promote, all the stuff that we're putting together for the plane. We need to make books for the plane, says Samwise. Yep,
That's the plan.
that's the plan. That's first. For anybody that hasn't that's hanging out that isn't sure what we're doing with it, the first thing we're gonna do is either campfire story or short story books, along with the novella at the same time that first thing comes out. Once we have those three things released, we will be working on game content for an RPG system. We don't know which one.
We're leaning toward Fate.
We're leaning towards it right now. We're going to do some testing with that in the next couple of months. We just this has been a really busy month, and I have a feeling that
you
we're
keep
gonna
using that word, but I think it's more accurately year.
I guess
Order.
Yeah, it's a pretty busy year. But those two cons that were, I don't even remember how far apart were they. Almost exactly 2 months apart. So as we were sort of recovering from one, we were gearing up for the next one, and now we're just like this last week. I feel like we were recovering from the last one.
Yeah, I mean it.
And now we have another one at the end of next month.
Yeah, it really was like as soon as we were like, okay, we're home and we're unpacked. Let's start getting all of the shit done that is or out of for the next con.
Yep. Sam says, I wonder if people on the plane have any old Earth books. That's a good question. Obviously, there's some elements in there we have to consider. They landed 3,000 years ago. They landed on Cathar. And they're pretty much robotic, digital on everything. So it would almost be like somebody was keeping something as a collector's item sort of thing. Like the Captain Picard had old books, and I guess they made fun of him because it wasn't on the computer or something like that. Seems familiar.
That seems familiar.
Sailing stories or something.
Turn on message.
No, I didn't. Well, I'm glad you backed me up on it or chastised me or whatever's happening. I gotta forget.
That's okay.
I'm guessing you got a message.
No, I just heard your phone buzzing at me.
Phone was buzzing for something else, thankfully. Samwise says, or do they have them, but the language has changed too much? It's like reading old Shakespeare English. I would say that for sure would be true if they have anything. That you need people like scholars and treasure hunters to help you with that sort of thing, would be my guess. Certainly all of our stories are told in our English, right? Because how else are you going to read it? And we throw familiar colloquialisms like somebody that you'd imagine in the Old West, or a Victorian era person from New York or Britain, or, those sorts of things. We're kind of looking at that time period, at least, for the way that people speak a lot of times. But that's just a representation. I'm sure they don't speak the same after 3,000 years. In fact, they don't even speak the same as each other. We've talked about that before. There's different languages.
Let's see. I don't remember when we released the Scarecrow campfire story.
Was that was, let me look that up, and I'm kind of taking over this. I don't mean to go on.
Okay.
So you push in and interrupt whenever you need to. I was the only one in English class laughing while reading Shakespeare, says Samwise. I remember people laughing. Some people were like, "Oh," and some people were laughing. I guess most people. Oh. Let me look that up. I think I can kind of guess. I'm pretty sure it was in a newsletter, right?
Yeah, because that's kind of a good example of what we're talking about right now. Of the difference in the languages and stuff like. But I don't want to That one, I really enjoyed writing that one, and I really think it's got some really good fun parts, and I don't really want to give them away.
Yeah, we need to do an audio for that one too, don't
Yeah.
we? We were gonna do it next, and I think enough other things passed through our priorities that we got into it.
Well, and also I was going to do a little bit on the terrifying side. It shouldn't be, but it is. So,
I get this on the first try. No, that was Murder on the Plane. Maybe it was June. That's Mark gone fishing.
it wouldn't have been further. It would have been
Closer to now.
closer. Yeah. You're going the wrong direction. Skeleton bone.
Yep, it was August.
Samwise, I completely agree with you.
Oh, that's the other thing. It has the little song that we want to actually put together, which at least I have a guitar. I can put something together for it maybe now.
So since it was August, does that mean it's not releasable yet?
No, it's releasable.
Okay, it's just not yet.
It's we just haven't put the work in for the audio. We haven't put the work into
No.
But no, I can get that out
to cryptmonkey.net.
Yep.
We'll add that one soonish. And we'll add a note in Discord when it's added. But that one is a really good. This is Skeleton Bone that I'm going to be dry brushing now. It's a really good example of the different things that have happened with language.
Yeah, I agree with that too on the Romeo and Juliet, that Shakespeare, I don't think he was saying we should take the hero and heroine too damn seriously. They were, they were teens, right?
Well, I mean, let's also point out the fact that Romeo met Juliet while he was trying to woo Rosalind.
Yeah.
So he, it's kind of obvious. I mean, I think Shakespeare was starting off by going, hey, look, this guy falls in and out of love. Like,
yep.
So. Also why they had to die. Otherwise, they'd have been like, I'm bored of your shit. I'm out. Anyway.
So we'll get Scarecrow ready, but what were you saying specifically about this? That it's a good example of what?
Of the language itself being... I don't want to give anything away, so I'm just saying. We're going to put it out there, and you guys can go read it. And it's fun. Just one of those things. You haven't started my music.
Yeah, I did get distracted. You know what? This is a good one for this month anyway. Scarecrow's creepy campfires.
I liked it.
Oh, I was starting to get tuned.
Now the next thing I need to be able to figure out is how to get everything done before we stream that I normally get done. Like I've got the printers reset downstairs. And I got packages done and ready for pickup. And then need to be able to figure out how to add enough time in there before we stream that I can actually eat something, because I'm already thinking about
Oh, Monster Mash. When will Monster Mash be in the public domain?
At this point, I'm not sure it ever will, actually.
I mean, that is... That copyright ownership stuff gets funny. If you've got the money, you can keep it longer. Mickey Mouse, I think, is a good example of that, where it should have been the public domain long ago, but they spend enough money, they keep fighting it and keeping it. Blame Disney, right? Yeah. Yeah. Well, they had the money to keep it for sure. Hey, there we go. We have music.
Yay.
Am I supposed to be looking up something else for you?
I just wanted to mention that that particular story has a couple of little snippets of information in it that kind of talk about specifically the difference in language that happens.
Yeah. Yeah, incidentally, we like Scarecrow story enough that it could we've discussed it could be a short story.
Yeah. I won't write that. That's not in my forte, I guess. Not something I'm comfortable doing. Gemstone. I believe, if I'm not wrong, I might be, but if I'm correct, their logo actually has like a red shining eye, so
I have examples here.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's why I painted inside of there to be white, just to make sure that I was tiny. Right.
I hope everything's looking okay for you guys. I'm just kind of looking around, and Twitch is saying we're unstable because the bit rate is too high. So I'll look at that. Dang it.
Oh. I'll let that dry. Put a black line down the center of the eye. Literally just green skin.
Kenway says, although at the same time they are an active company, and it would be shitty law to force successful companies to basically give up their most iconic intellectual property just because they have existed for a while. I don't know, licensing is morally gray at the best of times. Dream is looking fine. That's good. Yeah, I think the problem is that I guess I don't agree that just because the company's big and active that they should keep it, whereas other people, they don't have billions of dollars to fight against it, so they're gonna lose their stuff even if, you know, even if they're active. So that's my problem with it, is it's not even-handed.
Meanwhile, I'm thinking of what I can eat for lunch.
I guess I get a little bit on the, like, I'm not sure about it too when it comes to, same way says pizza. I'm not sure about that sort of thing too, because the Chaucer family's still around, you know, but I'm pretty sure there's nothing there that's owned by them.
Pizza is totally enough.
Yeah. I don't know why it's unhappy with the bit rate. I'll figure it out later.
And if you guys have any questions about painting, feel free to ask anytime. I know, like I was saying earlier, that I'm specifically going to work on content for that sort of stuff, but that doesn't mean that you can't ask while we're doing other stuff.
Yeah, we could be in the middle of crowd forging. Who cares? Got a question, ask.
Now, that being said, if I've stepped away, probably not an opportune time to ask about. I mean, Ty will absolutely answer you.
I'll answer you. It's gonna be wrong.
It might be right. You've been doing this for a while. By this, I mean sitting opposite of me while I talk about painting.
It'll sort of like be like pulling a slot machine of answers.
Those can be fun.
Yeah. And absolutely have nothing to do with painting. Oh, that's looking cool. Samwise says, what is the best way to thin out the Walmart acrylic paint for thin layers? Water?
Is that your answer, or did you finish asking?
That's a question.
Okay. That's what I was saying.
No, that's part of the question.
That was part of the question.
Yes.
Okay, so Ty, what would you answer?
My guess would be water, but I know there's other things that you have used for other kinds of painting in the past.
See, there you go. Not that bad. Typically, yes, that would be my answer, is just use some water. There are different products on the market that can also be used. Example would be, this is Blick brand. I don't know if they're a national chain or just a local art store.
That's the thing I was thinking of.
But it's called an extender. There are other words for it, and one word is a rude word, but it's retarded. You know,
it's rude.
It's a retarder. It's an extender. I don't like using that one because what it's saying is it slows down the paint from drying. Is what it does. It will also thin your paint out. It's as thin as water.
That's fine. There's things that are fire retardant and stuff like that. It's just a word.
But anyway,
it doesn't mean the same.
This one is Blick. It's matte acrylic extender. So that's what I like, because I want everything to be matte unless I specifically want it to be gloss. So I make sure that I buy almost everything as matte.
Samwise says, I'm budget painting to control new hobby spending.
So
get that.
Yeah. And this bottle literally has dust on it. It lasts forever. Because you need a couple of drops to extend the life of something. If you have hard water, you might want to use distilled water, which is also not bad. I have hard water. I try not to let my brushes sit in water, like overnight and stuff like that. But I'm pretty rough on brushes, so I buy cheap brushes. So I'm not terribly concerned if I lose one. But sitting overnight in my hard water is not going to actually kill a brush. I just try not to do that. Pretty good. But yet, just using straight up water will absolutely work. That's totally a thing. As far as how much to thin it out, it varies from paint to paint. Some, and I mean, I know you're specifically talking about like Apple Barrel, right? That's the Walmart brand. But see, these are both apple barrel, and I just randomly grabbed 2, so I don't know if this will be accurate or not. But this one kind of pours out like that. This one comes out faster. So, same exact brand, different colors behave differently. So there's no mathematical thing that I can tell you of 2 drops to 2 drops of water to 1 drop of paint. I don't know. It's a feeling. So it depends on how thick or thin you want your paint, what you need to do. What do you know about all the filth that's going on here, huh? I needed to paint this black anyway, so let's see. You can see it's not terribly thick anyway. So this one, I've already got water on my brush because remember I always wet my brushes. But you can see I kind of pull it on my palette to see how thick it is. And that way I know, okay, this isn't going to work, or it's too much or not enough, that sort of thing. But this is just for a base coat, and you can see that I can go over and I'm not losing the details that I need. So I wouldn't even, I didn't water this down at all. Don't need to. Now, if I was trying to get like the orange and get layer of layer of layer to build up my color, I probably would want to thin my orange down so that I can get multiple layers. But I'm only going to do 1 layer of the black anyway. And you can see like this spot right here is where it's going to connect to the body itself. Basically, if I leave that like it is, I'm gluing paint to paint rather than resin to resin. So a good thing to do is just scratch the crap out of it. And then you get a rougher surface. Just like when you're doing wood or something like that. Oh, my tummy is growling. I actually don't know how long we're going to be on today, guys. My stomach may win this fight.
Order Domino's to see him less.
Our Domino's doesn't currently deliver.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Incidentally, I'm all right, but
yeah.
At least when I want pizza, I do like their meals and their sandwiches. But not a Domino's.
Even if we did order Domino's, if we ordered food, we'd still have to get off stream because I'm not going to eat. In general, I don't tend to eat in public, so I'm really not going to sit on camera. And it's not that I have an issue with eating in public. It's actually just a matter of I like my food. So I want to sit and enjoy my food. I'm not a person who eats because I need to eat. I enjoy eating and I enjoy cooking and I enjoy food in general. So I like to sit and enjoy and relax. So public places, I don't tend to feel very relaxed, honestly. Like, even when we go to a con, we kind of like hover in a little corner of the booth and we're like, sorry, I'm shoving food in my face.
Yeah, there's other reasons for that.
Wow. No, I mean, well, I'm saying like, yeah, I mean, I understand there's other reasons for that, but in general, like, I hate doing that. I want to savor my food.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, eating at cons is not usually fun unless you're done for the day and out with other merchants or whatever, right?
Those times have been fun. Like, Oh my gosh, we went to this Asian, I don't know which Asian food it was, but we went out with Jake and Max and
yeah, it was Thai.
that was, oh my god, it was so good. And we must have sat there for like 3 hours eating and talking and jabbering, and it was just so good. It was so much fun.
Samwise says, "Wow, scary times." Something you said earlier. Okay, Domino's brownie cookies are delicious. I don't think I've had that. And then finally, ramen. We like ramen. We keep ramen here. Well, what's that for?
I want to say.
Oh no.
So I love Ponyo.
Can't do that. You'll break my mic.
Oh, I know. So I want to like yell ham like she does. Every time we talk about ramen, I want. Anyway. No, I mean, we actually have like frozen pizza, so pizza's not an issue. To have pizza, it's not gonna have pizza.
Samwise says Ghibli is the best. Like it. I'm probably saying it wrong.
No, it's Ghibli Studios. Well, it's how I pronounce it. I'm not saying it's right.
Also, miso ramen is my fave. I am not sure. Is that a brand or is that a type?
Probably a flavor. Miso is a flavor.
Ignorant.
I go straight up chicken, and then I add egg and ham.
I like beef. Add a little bit of soy.
I do add, like, I'll add teriyaki to my chicken. So I have teriyaki chicken ramen with egg.
It is a flavor thing.
My mouth. Yeah, well, I knew miso is a thing, so I'm actually, my mouth is watering. I'm like, okay, well, I guess we're done for today, guys.
No, we're not.
Oh, I'm struggling. Okay.
Good news is, I mean, I'm afraid to try and fix that right now, but I have figured out why Twitch is unhappy with this.
Can you pull their logo back over?
Whose logo? Oh.
Beastie.
Yes. Let me find it.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that good? You mean leave it up here?
Leave it for a second.
You even see it over left though.
Good right where it is.
Okay. Sam says it's a base flavor. You can put anything in, really. Okay.
I mean, good.
If
I remember correctly, it was not a flavor I enjoyed.
I've probably had it, but I don't remember. Like vegetable stock. Okay. Pretty sure that I've had that in soup. Certainly.
I know this is a lot of work. One tiny little eye, but that probably no one will ever notice. But the fact is they were cool enough to put their logo on here, damn it. So Ty's got the logo just pulled up on the screen there, so I'm just looking at where the darker areas are in the logo. Adding those back in. think you guys can hear my dryer buzzing. But I'm sorry if you can.
I don't think they heard it. Samway says, I painted a base and a mini and forgot to scratch the bottom of the feet, so the mini came unglued. Oh, do you do that? Or are they already bumpy?
So, dang it. It depends on the miniature. A lot of times with a mini, for a character model or something like this guy that I'm working on, the bottom of his feet are protected from paint and everything like that. So I haven't gotten paint on his feet. If I do, yeah, I will scratch it. I don't always need to. Because of, like I said, a lot of times I'll have them on blue tack or this sticky, and that'll keep their feet. But some of the larger minis, I do try to make sure that I get them scratched, especially like attaching a wing or something like that. I'll even take my snippers, which are not in here, and just kind of gouge, it's just like sanding. But I'll kind of gouge one area and then gouge the other area and then do that. You'll see me occasionally. I've never really even talked about the fact that I do it, honestly. But kind of a shortcoming on my part, and I apologize.
Now you have something else to add to the list for the next time we do a fundamentals stream, right?
One of the things that you'll see me do is you'll see me run my finger over things, and I'll kind of do this without even necessarily thinking about what I'm doing, but I'll do this, and this is really rough. So, and then I'll just kind of pet, like I'll pet the base, and I'll pet this, and then I'll go ahead and I'll glue it down. I haven't actually, that one got me. I was
going to say, how did that not get you?
Specifically say what I'm doing.
Hi, Ghosty.
But I just kind of start doing it. Yeah, Ghosty, I was actually just showing the Fenrir print. I still need to clean off a few little supports that survived.
Yeah, those were rough. I couldn't get those off my finger.
But, yeah, otherwise, he looks really good. I wanted to have it ready to go, even though I knew I wasn't going to be painting it today. I wanted to show it off, because you did spend your points for it.
Ghosty says, that's an awesome print, Dawn. He looks amazing. And that was him without the head.
Yeah.
I can repeat things. Don't have any. Dawn's going to try to do it with magnets. I did that.
No, I didn't.
So
I'm sorry, Ghosty.
Between the two heads, the one with the sword and the one without.
Hi, and welcome back, or welcome, and all of that good stuff. I'm doing details, so I'm not really paying attention to what's going on around me. I apologize.
Sam says, if you can't get the support off, just paint them as twigs in fur. Imagine with clippers, you can get that out. I just was using my fingers, and my fingers are always sore now anyway. Trying to get stuff like that off. So it was too much.
I wanted to do a little video of the comparison of Ty taking off supports versus me taking off supports. Because it's one of those things that if he can't get it off, he leaves it, and then I'll clip it out, or he'll hand it over to me and I'll just take it right out of the supports, and he just looks at me like...
Yeah, because if I try to do it, you're talking about cases where if I pull the supports off, I can see it's going to break a limb off the mini or something. So I just stop.
He just stops, and he's like, he's trying to protect it. I mean, he's not being lazy or anything like that. I don't mean it, but it's funny because he'll literally go, okay, I'm going to have to leave this one, and I'll reach over, take it, and just snap it right out. And he's just like, I hate.
Ghosty says that would be really interesting thing. I think we're talking about the magnets.
Yeah.
I'm interested. Dawn hasn't done this before.
I've never done it before. I've seen it done. I want to attempt it, and I think that is kind of like the perfect model to do that for. So It is definitely something I want to attempt with that model.
Music was hyping me up. Oh, you don't need that eye anymore. You're done with that, right?
No, I'm done with that, yes. But I think, I mean, I know they can't see it, but I think that looks pretty close.
I mean, it looks pretty good on camera. I haven't seen it in person yet, but yeah, that looks good.
I'm pretty happy with the base. I mean, and we just dry brushed all of this brown, and then down here, and then went green, and then went yellow over the top of that. And that looks really good. I'm happy with that. Ooh. The only other thing that I want to do is, you know, stereotypical. I want to add these two to the rock itself. And then I think the base is good to go. That would be Lazy Brain.
I don't remember what Lazy Brain was for. I'm sure it's something we said. So we were talking about Samwise says, I'm thinking of using craft scans and fake moss to dress up my purple dragon's base. What are craft scans? You know what that is? Sand. Oh.
Sand.
Craft sand and fake moss. Okay, I do know what those things are. Because you have a whole bunch of that.
I was going to say it was rock fan, so that probably wasn't the word that they meant to say. I love you, rock fan.
You're an ass.
I am an ass. I think we've established this. Not a nice person. Bigger asshole.
Gotta stand up.
But I'm trying to remember the dragon. Doesn't really matter, but I
think I'm
love
thinking of
doing
somebody
that.
else's right now. It was Dragon Head. Was it the Dragon Head? Probably just.
I don't know what dragon head you're talking about.
It was a little bit ago, but we were talking about purple dragon. I'm making it up, and I'll never find.
Because, yeah, I mean, rock fan. It's one of those things where I know you now as Samwise and rock fan, and I will literally just flip back and forth between the words or between the names. Oh, my hands hurt.
Maybe it was a really long time. Ray was in it.
Regardless of what dragon you're talking about, yes, you should do that. Sam just added it back in to the painting channel. I could see it pop across the top of my screen.
Okay. 1-1. I do remember this.
Yes.
This is not the one I was thinking of.
It's exactly the one I was thinking.
Was it?
One of the things that I like about the sand is the fact that it's dyeable, for a lack of better way of saying that. What I'll do is I will get my PVA glue. Let's see. There we go. Thank you, babe. Just for 1 minute.
I couldn't control it. I'm sorry.
I'll get my PVA glue, or Elmer's glue works as well. I'll mix this, the sand, and paint all into a little tote tub, little cup, whatever you want to mix it in. and stir it around real good till all of it's coated, and then I'll put that on the base. And then, so my white sand is now mud or dirt. Oh, what color was I using? So I can make my sand look all kinds of different things. If you get a really fine grit sand, you can even use it for snow. But it really should be extremely finely ground. If you get a rough and you have a blender you don't care about, you can make it really fine. I have a blender that I love. Because, just like I said earlier, I love to cook. Butternut squash, definitely something that needs to be have the ever-living crap blended out of it. You're ready to buy. All right. With the exception of clear coat, I'm gonna call this base done. Kind of want to put the gloss on the clear coat now on the eyeball, because like the metallic is shiny, but the line that I did down the center is not, and it's driving me crazy. I'm gonna make it all shiny.
You and I didn't talk about this, but well, you knew I was doing a poll for November's campfire stories, or campfire story rather, one of them, and the options that they had to vote on were. So first of all, I should open. One of the campfire stories next month should take place. Their options are on the plain, on or near the River of Ghosts, with sailors on the giant inland sea, Ethar's Tier.
Can I vote?
You can, but if it's not what they voted for, it won't matter.
Did they already vote? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Oh,
I was kind of getting to that. What would you vote for, though? I have a feeling I know, but
Pirates.
the pirates.
Always the pirates.
Well, good segue there. I'm not leaving the subject quite yet, except that tomorrow's subject we're going to talk about sailors on the giant barges, the sailing barges. That's going to be our subject tomorrow. The ones that bring people and goods across Kethar's Tier, back and forth, mostly to Longshore, but to the other places around the lake as well. No, they voted on or near the River of Ghosts.
Cool.
So either way, I was going to be excited. It didn't matter what was chosen. We have talked a little bit about River of Ghosts before, especially when we talked about the river crawler, right? Because it was invented on the River of Ghosts by a professor, a researcher. See for rough sand, I could get a mortar and pestle and get anger out. Is that what you were talking about, the blender? Or
Yes, same thing. The blender, that would be a much safer way of doing that than a blender.
Ghosty says, I would love to see the sailors one at some point, but I'm just curious about the River of Ghosts. It is a curious place. They do not have cities on the River of Ghosts. They've got small villages, really, maybe a couple that you could call towns or whatever, but otherwise, but it's also near Flumeton, which is a city. It kind of ends near Flumeton, and Flumeton is a big logging city, so they do log the edges on the banks of the and I know Dawn wants to know about sailors, Kethar's Tier, because that's what we're planning to do for our test run of Fate. We're not going to be using our adventuring careers. We're going to be using just sort of basics in the Fate system, and they will be sailors on one of inland or sailing barges.
Well, part of it is just because water. Doesn't take much more than that for me. All right.
Yeah, this month was so crazy. That's one of the things that fell by the wayside too. I wasn't really able to continue reading on the Fate system. In fact, I don't think I've read anything in it since either the beginning of October or the end of September. Busy.
Oh.
But we'll be streaming that. That's why I mentioned it. We'll be streaming when we start testing. I think the first one is going to be just us so that we all get a chance to sort of figure out the basics on the rules and how the system works. And then from the second game on, we'll test stream. That should be fun.
It's starting. Okay. So you can see the color, but when I put it out, see, it is not that color. So it is not shaking up properly. And I can tell you why. That's what it should look like. I don't have anything in there. What I should have done was when I got this set,
Just put it in all of them.
sat down and went through, and I'm like, you know what? That would be so smart to do. And you know what I think I'm going to do? Wait until I'm on stream and need it. Blah, 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 blah. Sorry.
Oh, have y'all decided on the giveaway for 150 followers? No, that's something else that was supposed to be done, well, last week, but this week that passed, we said again we were going to try and get the poll. The one's already figured out what the 5 options are. We just need to get the poll done and out there. It's just been crazy. But yes, we still need to do that. They are killer options for us. I want them all.
Everything is going to be, all the options are, we're sticking with a theme, and that's the theme. Is exactly that. It's Rock Band.
Dragons.
Everything is a dragon. There's not a single option that's not a dragon. So,
but it's still going to be hard to choose.
Well, we don't have to. That's what. That's the beauty of
it's everybody
this.
else's choice, right? Yep, dragons.
I don't have my list in front of me, but one of the options is Tiamat.
Tiamat. That's one of the options.
One of the options is, yes, the Xeno dragon.
Xeno dragon.
Another option is, it's a Lich dragon, I think. I think that's what it's called. I can't remember right now what the name of it is. But it's by Mini Monster Mayhem.
It's good stuff. I'm kind of glad. You're right. I'm kind of glad they have to decide what it's gonna be, because I would have a lot of anxiety over it.
Are you pulling up our Etsy store?
No, why?
Oh, I thought you were trying to look for the Lich dragon.
Oh no.
So that I could get the name right.
Who was it by?
Mini Monster Mayhem. Our music stuff.
The Dracolich.
Dracolich, that's what it is. There's 2 different poses. I just read that, Sam.
This is the one you're talking about?
No. That's by Epic Miniatures.
Oh, well, I picked. Bill is pulling from elsewhere.
Just go into that section and then go up to the top. Oh, there it is, right there.
Oh.
Go down. 1 second, guys. Go down. That's it. Dracolich hovering, breathing fire.
That's a monster.
Yes.
Actually, I will share this one. I'm not going through all of them, but I will share this one. Think I'm ready? I'm thinking I'm ready. Pretty much ready.
So that is one option that will be in the poll.
And that thing's crazy. I love this base. Fire and whatever's being melted is the base.
Mm-hmm.
He's 180 millimeters tall from the bottom of the base to the top of his wing. That's one of your choices. That's pretty great.
And like I said, I know there's 2 others, and I just drawing a complete blank.
NY says breathing fire is tempting. Ghosty says that is pretty badass. I agree. I had not seen this one.
That one is...
I feel bad, but I haven't seen this one.
Well, no, I mean, I understand why. He actually just released it this month. He'd already done the Dracolich, and I love it. But he did a new position of it. That's the new position of it, which I think is... I don't know. I don't know which one I like more. I love the Dracolich. The Xenodragon from Dragon Trappers, we have... I'm trying to go through my list in my head because I wasn't picking more than one sculpt from a sculptor. So that was Dragon Trappers, that was Lord of the Print, that was Mini Monster Mayhem. And I know we didn't pick one from Epic. He tends to do a lot more of the smaller stuff than anything really giant. What we're going for on this. I'm not dry brushing this, but I'm also not like trying to get in the grooves.
Ghosty says, are y'all planning on any more mystery boxes along with the big boy, or just keep it the big boy? I think that one will do probably just the big boy.
Well, let's go ahead and have this discussion because I wanted to have this discussion with Ty anyway, and we haven't actually had it yet.
Uh-oh.
So I was thinking that maybe one of the options, like I said, we're going to vote. So maybe one of the options is a random number of mystery boxes, not big boy.
I don't think that makes the polling decision any easier, but...
No, but again, they're deciding it, not us.
Okay.
So that's what I was thinking of, adding that as like a 6th option of, hey, do you guys not want a big boy? Do you want, because the mystery boxes are kind of our thing. So I'm okay with doing that instead.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Gives another option that could be cool. I agree. Let's do that then.
Okay.
6th option will be, we got to talk about that. The number of mystery boxes. Excuse me. Hey, every Saturday and Sunday morning, apparently. Um, that could be a little more expensive than we can handle right now. Y'all could give away 150 mystery boxes for 150 followers.
Um,
Yikes. Or 150 Gregories. That's the toad, right?
yeah. Um, so I was thinking more along the lines of 5,
That's kind of what I was thinking.
but they won't be character size. They will be 50 mil or bigger.
50 mil or bigger, we could throw a mystery bag too. Maybe one of them's a mystery bag that's got a character size mini and the other stuff that comes with the mystery
I'm okay
bag.
with still doing a 50 mil or bigger. So, I mean, there will be a variety in there, but I'm also not going to say,
Everyone get to Gregory.
I'm not going to say that everything is um, character size or 50 mil, or I'm telling you it's going to be 50 mil or larger.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them may be
The mystery bag.
the mystery bag. One of them may also be 100 mil.
The mystery bag, for those that may not know, is the mystery box is a mini that don't know what it is, right? Well, the mystery bag is a mystery dice bag that's embroidered. It has a mini in it, and it has different things in it. Sometimes we put a notebook
Currently
in there.
sold out on our Etsy store.
Yeah, they're sold out at the moment. They are. Sometimes they have notebooks. Sometimes they have story starters for dungeon masters. Dice. So they have fun, different things that we put together in there.
We've even put coasters in one.
That's right.
Yeah. It's like whatever we pick a theme for this particular one, and then we just everything is that theme.
I don't even have one to show, I guess, since they're all sold out.
Well, I mean, I actually have I have one made up.
Is it easy for me to get to?
Yes, but not easy to describe where. So take this and shake the ever living shit out of it.
Is it gonna get on me? This isn't shaking it hard enough, apparently. I still need to change our Nightbot stuff too. I think I mentioned this last week, and we're going to drop the option for the Ko-fi store because no one has been interested in that. We need to do some. We've been talking with patrons about doing like campfire stories in a YouTube format and stuff like that. Hopefully, get more people interested. Whoa! Almost flung it out of my hand. I'm guessing he's making me shake this up way more than it needs to be. Seems like more than Dawn would shake it up, right? I can't tell if you guys can hear that either. Oh, the gate works pretty good. You guys can't hear that. You can probably hear it as I'm talking because I'm talking loud enough to bring the gate open. That's got to be enough, right?
Yes.
Oh, my arm.
I haven't cleaned it up or middle of working on it.
Yeah, so this one's got some
threads
and it doesn't have the rope in it yet to cinch it, but that
that's not good.
Yeah,
Let's not do that on that side
because it's on mine. Yeah, here, let's do.
Okay.
You can be able to do it with those fingers.
Yes. So the fun thing is, we do roll initiative, right? And the colors there will always represent what's in there. This is a fairy kind of themed one. So inside of the bag.
That's pretty great.
So And the really fun part that I like doing is like I'll make this exact same color again, but it won't necessarily be that again. And even if it was that again, it's the mini would be different, the story would be different, all the other the insides are always random for you, but very planned out for us. But yeah, I have a lot of fun making those. One of the other things that I really enjoy doing is sewing, and that includes my embroidery machine.
So yeah, you get a bag like that, and inside of the bag with the mystery bag is a miniature, maybe a notebook.
You always will get a miniature. You will always get a set of dice.
And dice. And our dice, we pick out really cool dice that match the bag.
Yeah.
Or the theme, at least.
Yeah. And you'll always get the bag, you'll always get dice, and you'll always get a miniature. And then the rest of the stuff is kind of what works. Like, oh, this would be perfect with this. This would be perfect with that. That sort of thing. Right, this is the Grimoire Purple.
Samwise says, I don't have a bag problem or a dice problem.
I don't either. I find them all the time. It's awesome.
I knew that's where it was going, somewhere like that. Gotta love the clickety-clacks. The math rocks.
Or death bells.
The death bells. My first set of dice I've ever named. I will be using them to test the fate system. Who played with these?
That's the mail, I'm sure.
I will go. We don't have any going out, right?
Yes, we do. It's right there.
Oh. Back to the death bell. Because I love them so much. This was a trade, too. I'm trying to remember, what did we trade? Notebooks? We traded a bunch of notebooks with another merchant who was a game store owner. Because apparently their customers have been liking our notebooks, so Dawn traded a bunch of our notebooks for this set of dice. Oh, I should start with it closed, actually. And I apologize if I've shown these before, but
they're cool. It's fine. We want to see them again.
This great wood case that's magnetized. Let's see if I can do this without splashing the dice out everywhere. Felted on the inside. And there's these light metal dice. Now, I've seen the metal dice before. They're usually heavy and worried about your game table ending up with dents in it and stuff. But these are hollowed. I get the D20 out. So they're hollowed out metal. They have all these little it's skeleton parts. It's bones and skulls and all this stuff that make up the structure of the die. The reason I'm calling them death bells is because
they're going to be ringing as they kill me.
Yeah, I'm going to see if this will work. Let's see. Oh, maybe if I talk a little bit, you could hear them. They kind of ring like bells.
Yeah, they don't sound very pretty right now, but normally, like when you're just rolling them, they're so pretty. It'll be a very beautiful day. Yeah, so I've had to start scheduling pickups because my normal mail lady knows that even if I don't have my flag up, she stops and asks, what do I have to go out today? Because she knows I always have packages. When she's out, she tries to let me know when she's not going to be here. But if she forgets, her backup runs at a completely random time. So I've just started scheduling pickups. And then I schedule a pickup the night before because I have to. And then I pack that morning. Or, that early morning, sort of mid-afternoon. Sometimes I start packing right after I eat lunch, sort of thing, right? Depending on how much I've got to do before I can sit down and pack. And so he showed up yesterday at noon. Like, I'm here to pick up the packages. I'm like, I don't have anything ready. It's noon. My normal mail runs between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. It's noon. I'm not ready yet. I'm sorry, I'm not ready yet. I wasn't rude to him.
I do understand what they're saying, though.
No, apparently, I get it. That's where I was going next. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I wasn't rude to him, but I did kind of make a stupid face, and I'm like, it's noon. So I could hear him explaining to Ty just now when Ty was giving him the packages. Basically what has happened is Amazon's like, hey, we're gonna do our own shipping. So cool, thanks, bye. And so now they're running. He's here at noon again. And she may even start running at 3 p.m. So we may want to adjust our packing. I'm like, I wanted to say, yeah, I talked to your boss yesterday, not complaining about him. I normally do. But he was actually very polite and apologetic for yesterday being there so early. I'm going to give him credit, even though I really don't want to.
I'm a little confused by the whole, they're excited about not having that business anymore, though, is a little confusing to me. I would not be excited if I lost business.
No. The post office was...
I guess it's a difference in worker versus owner, maybe.
That was the manager. That was the post office manager at the store that was like, yeah, it's going to be great. They're going to do their own stuff.
All the carriers are happy about it. I'm like, I can't imagine that they're happy about.
I'm sorry, you're going to have less work for me? I get less hours? You're cutting back how much income I have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder how excited they'll be if they end up having to lose people. But anyway, because that's been a lot of business for a lot of years now. Of course, Amazon effed everything up, Sam says. I heard the post office lost money on Amazon delivery. Oh, well, maybe if that's a thing, if they were losing money, that sounds familiar. Like a couple of years ago, I remember hearing about negotiations that the USPS was not happy with how it turned out because they were losing money. It would flood their system and causing backups. Oh, that's not good too. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they'll be happier, but the other thing I know about the USPS is that they're partially private, partially government, and government just keeps them going. They've been on the verge of financial issue, even with Amazon. They've been on the verge of things not going well for them.
Yeah. Well, and it's also one of those things where I don't know about you guys, but more than once we've gotten a package. Wrong color. Not working on purple anymore. I'm working back on gray. More than once we've gotten a box that was enclosed in a bag with a big label across it saying something to the effect of, our machine ate your box. We're sorry for your loss.
Yeah, there's no responsibility there, and I'm not interested in what might be wrong with the machine. I want recovery. Also, as a merchant, I don't like that apparently they have a policy of telling customers, sorry, can you get in touch with the merchant and maybe they'll refund or replace it for you. Like, you destroyed it and you're sending them back to me. You destroyed it and you're sending them back to me to pay for that.
Yeah. More than...
We actually had a customer... Oh, is that what you're about to say?
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, we had a customer that actually sent us what the post office emailed them about it. And that's what they're telling people. Is just go back to the person that sold it to you and ask for a free replacement or a refund. Sorry, we screwed it up.
We had one lady contact me and say her package is marked as delivered, but it wasn't delivered to her house. So my automatic response is, did you ask the post office about it? You know, your local post office, ask them, you know, hey, I didn't get this box. And she messaged me back. She's, well, yeah, that's where I started. And they told me to let you know that it was lost and that you needed to replace it. She goes, I don't really understand why I need to tell you to replace it. I'm confused. I'm like, she was really cool about it and we worked it out and everything. But I mean, we had to file a claim to get them to do anything. And then they denied her claim, told her that she couldn't file it. I had to file it. So then I filed it. They denied my claim and told me I couldn't file it. She had to file it. So we screenshotted everything and sent it over to her, and she was able to file it and finally get her money back. And by this time, I had already sent her a replacement because I'm like, this is just insanely stupid and ridiculous. And I'm not okay with any of this that's happening right
now. Samwise says they deliver for the IRS and developers. They're safe. The DMV. They're safe. I mean, I don't know. I don't know about that. I think there's things... I don't know if this is true or not. I got to do a little more research, but I've seen posts online of people saying that legally, I guess, that the post office won't let other carriers charge less, which is why they're cheaper or something. I always thought it was just because they were partially government. I don't know. But if they lost that ability to control what other people are charging, I'm a state DMV. I'm going to go with the cheapest route, right? And then Samwise says, I didn't bother telling you guys about my package because it's not your fault. You know what happened there?
No.
Feel free to tell us about it. And yeah, I don't want customers to think that we're not going to help them. I'm just take issue with the postal service destroying things and then just saying, sorry, go ask them. Just basically flipping all of us off. Then Samwise says the USPS website outright says don't bother calling them as their reps. Only see what you see on the tracking website. Isn't that friggin' lame?
That's another one that I get is, hey, so I'm not sure if you can see any more than I can, but I'm like,
definitely not. Yeah, we definitely don't see any more, but why can't they see more? I don't even believe that's the truth. As a software developer, I do not believe that is the truth. As a former software developer. Samwise says, it is an order from your shop that's in limbo. I already talked to them. Yeah.
I'm going to look into it and see what the hell. Because there's been plenty of times.
Now they filed an investigation, Sam says, and I have seen before where that did, like, somebody went looking for it, found it, and got it moving again. And then there's other times where it gets lost.
My favorite is it's in limbo, it's lost, like we'll have a package that hasn't moved in 3-4 days, and all I do is go onto their website and sign up for text alerts for this package, and all of a sudden it starts moving again.
Yeah. That's weird.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to bitch about the post office today.
No, all I was going to add to that was that we still tell people to go complain because we need to apply that pressure to them to get them to perform better.
Yeah.
Period. They are getting tax money, so they need to perform better. Oh, crap. Hello,
That one
Creep Show.
got me good.
I did that tense up all my muscles internally. Especially at our local levels where we can hopefully better influence. Sam says, and if it is in my state, I know 100% which distribution it is, and I hate them. Yeah, we got one of those that we hear about things not being counted or scanned or whatever. That's what it was. Ghosty says that even got me.
We have
It's an interactive stream.
We have 2 customers right now that have packages in limbo that have contacted me. And Sam, I'm gonna look at yours when we get done here. After my pizza, then I will look. That like one guy's, it went from here to St. Louis to Michigan, back to St. Louis, back to Washington, back St. Louis, back to Michigan, and now is en route to the next facility. But it like went away from Michigan and then back to Michigan, away from Michigan and back to Michigan. Like, I don't even understand. Did someone put it in their pocket and they're just walking back and forth? What are you doing?
Sam says, no worries. I know from work you can only do so much. Well, we got to do as much as we can, I guess. Like I said, there's got to be pressure applied to them, or why would they even care to make things better? And I get all upset about these things. Last week, not this week that just passed, the week before, I'm not going to go deeply into it, but a postal worker told me something that didn't feel right. So I went on a couple of hours of researching, trying to find this information.
So angry.
It wasn't true. But in the process of it, I got even more angry because I found this thing with this guy tearing a postal worker tearing a hole, and maybe you guys have seen it. I guess it went viral for a while. A video of him tearing a hole in the top of a box and using that as a handle. When that didn't work, he kicked the box over and was sliding it across the road with his foot, and then just slamming it up the stairs and tossing it on the porch. I was so mad. And I understand people say, oh, you have a bad day or whatever. Well, no, that's just unacceptable to me.
Yeah.
If I'm having a bad day, I'm not going to crush my customer's stuff. I'm either going to find a new job, or I'm just going to step away for a minute, or whatever I have to do to not do what not okay. Ham says it was the order from a couple of weeks ago, the 18th. I have bad days, but you know what I do? My job correctly. That is pretty much, that's where I'm at. Yeah. I guess the excuses that I hear on the other side of that always send me in the same direction. Get through that day, and if your job is that bad, find another one. That's it.
And I mean, I understand things suck and everything else, but specifically, we have had a mail carrier walk up to our house, flipping our package in his hand because he was bored and he was just entertaining himself. Now, on the other side of that, I did actually just watch a video where somebody was delivering a package. It was Halloween time. It was very clearly everything outside decorated for Halloween. these people had put a table on their porch and put my guess is this person that is decorating their house is a teacher, because it looked like a desk with a skeleton sitting in a chair at the desk with their hands folded on the desk, and it looked like a school, like this person had died in school. You know what I mean? Like they died of boredom or something. It was cute. It was really well done, right? This mail package, or this person who's delivering the mail, walks up and just kind of stops and stares at it for a second and just sets the package on the desk, turns around and goes to walk away, stops, turns back around, comes up, picks up the package again, moves it underneath the skeleton's hands and puts the hands on the skeleton, or the skeleton hands on the package, and then backs up and takes a picture, and he's smiling and he walks away. This whole thing's caught on Ring.
That's great.
You know? I'm like, okay, so there's people out there having fun, right?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely not somebody that's going to say the whole postal service sucks, because like our regular postal carrier is wonderful.
Yeah, she bends over backwards.
Yeah, absolutely.
She is definitely above and beyond what I would even expect. So she's just a really good person. She enjoys her job. She enjoys the people that she communicates with. It's just really all really nice. But
there you go. Samwise says that delivery driver is awesome. My normal carrier is great too. If we want a happy subject, I ordered a custom wooden D20 from a woodworker stand at the Ren Fair. They gave me a 10% discount because I rolled a nat 20 on the test model. Nice.
that's awesome.
That is a great idea too. If you crit, we'll give you a discount. I like that.
And see, what I would want to do is tell them, okay, if you crit, you get a discount. If you get an epic fail, you have to pay more.
Oh.
I would actually make my sign say that. I would never actually charge them more, but make it scarier to roll that die.
Yeah, it would be fun, wouldn't it? This is how much it costs. You're going to pay 10% more if you botch. 10% less if you crit. I like that. Samwise says, I believe it was my lucky dragon buddy. Yeah. So what are you working on tomorrow? Are you still going to be working on this?
So what I did was I got myself a couple of busts. Both from
Bestiarum miniatures.
Yes. Both from that company. And this one I am painting to be beautiful and fun and amazing and awesome. And the other one I want to look like metal statues. So basically that's going to be dry brushing metallics on it. So my intention is to get them both done between the 2 days. What might actually happen is I barely finish this.
Creep Show says, I roll dice like crap, so I would pass on the deal every time. Yeah, but you roll better than me. I only roll well on one side of the screen.
So, well, and like I said, I wouldn't actually ever charge anybody more.
No, I wouldn't.
I just want to make it scarier to roll. You know, it's like, okay, you got to think about it because, yeah, you know it's going to be awesome to roll, but if you botch, you have to pay me 10%. Make them actually have to consider, do they want a chance?
Creepshow says, I've been told I suffer from the Will Wheaton curse. Creepshow, are you still streaming occasionally? I know you were working on getting a stream up, but I don't know if you've had time to keep going.
Like a little.
And I never trust my alerts because I don't always get them.
Oh, what I love is I get a notice for Gareth streaming like an hour into his stream. And guess how long he streams?
An hour, yeah. Yeah. Well, it's nice because the last 2 times he's actually put it on our self-promotion and Discord.
Yeah, that really...
The problem was like Monday, I left my phone sitting here while I was running around doing other things, and then came back, missed it. And then Wednesday, I did the same thing, except I came back at like 15 or 20 minutes left of his stream.
I had, I think it was last night. I don't know. That's my biggest issue with doing any of that stuff is I don't remember what day of the week it is.
Yeah, that's hard. Now, didn't used to be.
No, it was never a thing. Like today's a day I go to work. I remember what day it is. Now I don't actually have a day off, so there's no like my day off would be if anything Sunday because there's no post on Sunday.
Right, Harry. No post on Sundays.
Oh my god, he's so awesome. I love this model so much.
Yeah.
What time is it?
It is almost 1.
I managed to stop thinking about food until I asked that question. He does have teeth in there. We'll paint the teeth like a skeletal bone, so them pop out a little bit more.
He is wicked.
I think it's not.
I think Samwise is saying with DR vibes.
Witch doctor vibes.
Oh, witch doctor. Oh, it was right.
I'm so- We're so used to having to figure out what you're saying.
No, I think the problem is Samwise mentioned lazy brain earlier. I have broken brain.
Oh, that was awesome. Yes, he especially with this staff, he very much has a witch doctor vibe.
I will wake up.
I am awake, but I will eat pizza for lunch, which will put me into a
food coma.
A food coma.
So we're getting close to the end. I'm going to hint at some more of... So you hinted at some of the content we're planning earlier. As a test, one of the things that we're talking about doing is... It could be boring as hell. I don't know. That's why it's a test, right? In August or September, we did the streams, the crowdforging streams where we worked on ideas for campfire stories. So we're going to test some writing stream and work on one of those ideas. I'm going to work on one of those ideas during stream. Like I said, it may be boring. I don't know, but could be interesting. We'll see. I just have no idea.
Yeah, and I won't be painting during that stream so that
You'll probably be elsewhere.
Well, I'll probably be sitting here doing something.
Oh, okay.
Like maybe putting labels on little bags and stuffing them full of turkeys.
Yeah.
But what I need to do is focus on the text.
The text.
Reading for you.
Oh, I got you. It's such a new idea for this test. I honestly didn't think you were going to be there when we talked about it. I thought you were like, this is the opportunity for me to go work on other crap while you're busy with that.
I will work on other crap while you're busy with that, but I will try to do it here
That's
so that
excellent.
I can read for you.
That's good because maybe you can try talking to folks and stuff. I don't know what it's going to be like. I have a lot of anxiety about it because I don't know what it's going to be like, and while I feel like my eventual draft is good, it starts out. You know how when you watch somebody doing a bust in clay, at first it looks like this horrible creature, and
It looks like you're slapping some paint on it.
Eventually you could see, oh my gosh, then it's like, yeah, there's a form to this face. I recognize the person, whatever. It looks good. That's kind of how my writing is.
That's how art works.
Probably I'll have a bullet list ready. No, I won't even have a bullet list ready because I'll do it in Scrivener. So I'll have the version of bullets you use in Scrivener or what are they called? Oh, it's index cards is what they're calling them. Scrivener, but anyway, yeah, I'm worried about it. It'll be a time to chat if nothing else. Art is very trust the process hobby, Sam. Yeah, I agree with that. My anxiety isn't with the outcome. My anxiety is with people seeing my process.
And I get that. I had that too of like, I'm like, I don't really want people to watch me paint because I literally am just slapping paint around until I'm to the details. I'm like, that's boring as hell. Why would anybody want to watch that?
I don't think it's boring though, that. But yeah, I am like
100 episodes in and I still feel like people probably are bored.
But I worry about people being like, why do you write that way? Why that's not a grammatically correct sentence. Why are you misspelling that word? Because I'm just doing it's a first draft. It's a mess. I'm gonna clean it up later. But we'll see. Had enough anxiety that at one point I was thinking maybe instead of writing something from scratch, I should do proofing. And then I realized that's probably a lot more boring than coming up with the ideas on stream. But he logs on. Oh yeah, okay, he's got Grammarly. Right. Oh, whatever. I think the other piece of content that we're planning has evolved. We sort of let you guys know, I don't know, a month ago maybe more, that we were planning on replacing the painting stream with the pregame show. That has changed. We're not doing that anymore, but the pregame show is not going to be streamed anymore. It's going to be
recorded
10 to 15 minute sections, 3 or 4 episodes between Friday and Saturdays, that we're going to have recorded for YouTube. It's still the same premise. We're still going to talk about what minis we liked from last month, what we're looking at now, and what minis our modelers are promising next month that look still that same sort of thing, but instead of on stream, we'll do... I'm looking forward to that one too.
Yes. Painting the wires going around these bones.
Essentially eyeballs, huh?
Pretty much, yeah. There is a ton of them.
Metric shit ton.
Some of them have 3, some of them have 2. I like how they're uneven. They don't even line up with each other, you know? Because that's what happens when you wrap wire around something and then you go to the next one. They don't sit in a line, you know?
Right. They stagger.
So, like, this one has 3. There's 3 down here, and then a 2 all the way up, and then you get back up to 3 again. I am delaying moving on to him, his body, because I haven't decided his cloak color.
Oh?
Now there's 1, 5.
Sam suggests green.
It's funny because that's literally the color I was trying to avoid using, but it makes the most sense to use green.
Ghosty says, I had to step away for a little. What did I miss?
Ours.
We complained about the Postal Service.
Yes.
Or, you know what? That's not fair. Well, no, that is fair in some instances. Not as much on local carriers, but a little bit. And we talked about some of the new content we're working on. Like the pregame show is going to be a video and broken up into a couple of segments as opposed to a live stream. That is a creepy face. Love it, said Ghosty. Yes. It reminds me a lot of the voice of Sauron from the movies. The Lord of the Ring movie. Oh, what else did we talk about?
Oh, basically, this is me painting eyeballs right now. So why are you asking me?
That's why. Oh, yeah, it does. Ghosty says, yeah, I think so. Got that long look. All he needs is something covering his eyes, you know?
He doesn't have any.
Yeah, he doesn't have eyes, I guess, too, but... Black teeth. Ugh. Oh, and the writing stream. That we're gonna do a test because we did those campfire stories. Crowd forging campfire stories, and I think it was in September. I'm gonna pick one of those and we're gonna see how it goes. We're gonna do a writing stream, like first draft. Yikes. Working on a campfire story. And then that'll go out to CrowdForge, just like we did with Dawn's sketch that time. Speaking of campfire stories, we're almost in November too, which is I have plans to get all of the packet stuff done. So we can get CrowdForger packets, subscriber packet out.
I liked the idea. Black teeth.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it makes me cringe every time I watch that movie. I'll like...
This is a paint that's actually made for airbrushes. Golden. And it paints up like oil and tar is what it looks like when I just brush it.
Ghosty asks, are any of y'all a fan of the God of War series? I have not played God of War, but I love the artwork that I've seen. The animations look great. I'm excited. Samwise says, I'm excited for Ragnarok. I haven't kept up, so I'm not sure if that's the new release for God of War is Ragnarok. I feel dumb. Yep, it's the first search that comes up. So, God of War Ragnarok, fight to defend Midgard. Definitely not going to spoil anything, but I've been seeing some leaked gameplay, and man, does it look amazing. PlayStation.
I know that the color difference here is really hard to see on camera. But again, I will, as always, add pictures in Discord.
Ghosty says that is the new one tie, and it takes place in the Norse realm, and it's really cool seeing all the Norse gods in a new design away from Marvel. Yeah, I'm actually on the PlayStation site now looking at stuff.
Yeah, I'm glad I added the black to the team.
Looks beautiful.
That might be a sign that it's time to stop painting.
Why is that? What?
Keep picking up the wrong color.
I have seen some of the information on because I'm recognizing the artwork, still artwork they've got here that was video. Tube.
I've never played the game, but I have listened to the soundtrack on more than one occasion.
Samwise says Kratos literally killed the Greek god pantheon, and they just keep pissing him off. Yeah, I recognize this scene, Dawn, from a video. Maybe you've seen it too. Oh, I can go up. Right there. Yeah, you've seen that?
Yeah.
It's the one where Sun has got the bow and there's the deer out in front of him. It's a great sight.
He's so flippin' cute. I love him.
Ghosty says, I love the design of Thor. I think he has a real cool look. I went far enough to Thor. I stopped on near the beginning with Mirror. Yeah. That Thor. That's Thor. Thor makes me look healthy. Hold on, I'll show you, Dawn. Oh, that's Thor.
That's awesome.
Samwise says, I am all for angry ginger Thor, very blonde himbo Thor. Yeah, this is looking fun. Don't have a PlayStation, so I don't know if this is going to be on PC.
Playing it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm on the PlayStation site, so it's just talking about PS5, PS. I haven't played any of these, so I don't know a thing or not. Oh, rather than vary, it's versus from. So I'm all for Angry Ginger Thor versus Blonde Him Thor. Yeah, Sony is expanding into PC. You just need to wait. I always prefer to wait. PC is going to come later. Anyway, even if I have the console, love PC play versus play personally. For one thing, if it's an FPS, I just love pissing off the console people. Crypt says the Xbox Ultimate Game Pass lets you play on console, mobile, and PC, whichever games are compatible. That definitely makes sense for them. Because Microsoft, but
Pull the model up for me.
model for
This. The image that I gave you. Like, it's not sitting. But, like, when I put them on there, super crooked. See that. Which is why
that's not the post you cut down, is it? Oh.
cut that way down because I didn't like how high it was sitting. Is supposed to. So now this portion hitting this, so it's not allowing me to put it on the post.
So stuff it back up higher.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think you should do that, and then tomorrow, I mean, it'll be good to put together again, right?
Yeah, I don't like how I'm going to see all.
But you're not from the front.
I look at things from every angle. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm gonna. So, you want to go ahead and wrap us up?
Okay, so tomorrow for crowd forging, we will be working on life on a sailing barge on Cathar's Tier. So this is another one of those all-inclusive sorts of crowd forging, because we'll be able to talk about not only the the career of working on a sailing barge, but also the gear that you're going to use, the flora at sea on Cathar's Tier, the fauna, which can be small and large. How do they eat over these trips that take years to pass, right? Basically anything you could think about, like the weather, all of those things are open game on this sort of discussion. So we'll be talking about that. Dawn you'll be working on this one and maybe the other bus too.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, I knew I was going to spend the majority of my time on these two people, and they are pretty much there. So, like, I'm loving that fate. It's just freaking adorable. The base I'm super happy with. I know your definition and my definition of adorable are very different, but
probably not. And the people hanging out here.
So I knew I was going to spend the majority of my time on that stuff, and those are done. So it might be one of those things. I'm struggling to get the wrapping off of this, guys. It might be one of those things where I knock out the cloak in 15 minutes and I move on to my other bust. I don't know. More likely what's going to happen than not is what's going to happen is I'm like, this is going to go really quick, and I won't finish it either. And the reason I can't get the wrapper off,
wound in the middle of it or something?
There was one tiny little piece that I was seeing that wasn't all over the.
Oh. So that's what we will be working on tomorrow with you guys. So tomorrow, 11 a.m., we'll be on again, still celebrating the Halloween, last weekend of Halloween month, and getting excited for Monday's happiest day of the year, Halloween. So we hope to see you guys on tomorrow, hanging out again in the morning. And that's all I can think of.
Yeah.
Yeah. See you later, folks.
I'm going to smash this and make this better for what I would like to see. Not exactly sure what that's going to be yet.
But we'll show you tomorrow.
Yep. We'll figure it out. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Pizza time.
See you later.